This video is about how to change a company's calendar. You'll learn how to modify the calendar, add or remove dates, or change the weekending day, mainly. To get started, what we'll do is we have to go in Administration, select Company, and edit the company by double-clicking on it. And after that, you'll see there are two ways to modify a calendar. So, in my example, I go to Administration, the company I want to select, so I need to go to Maintain Companies here, and the company I want is already selected, Perfect Service, and then I'll double click to edit it and click on Next on the bottom right. And now I can see the calendar. What I want to do is change the weekending date from Tuesday to Saturday, and to do that I need to choose one of these two buttons. So there are two ways you can modify. The first one is just called Edit the Calendar. What this does is it lets you change the calendar both for what it was entered in the past and for what is going to be entered in the future, and this can be reversed. So let's take an example of how to do that. That's the first option here. When you do that, you'll see a message warning you that you're going to make changes, and then you will have access to the changes. In my example, I will click the first button, I get a warning, I click yes, and now here I can, if I want, I can uncheck or check to have more days. And here what I want to do, for example, is change the weekending day. Now if I do that, and I click on Finish, I'm going to get a warning that some values will be modified for some statistics, which is what I want. Click Yes, and that's it. To finish, I have to click on Next several times until I can exit the wizard. Let's check what's going on my graph here. So it used to be on a Tuesday, and now my weekending is on a Saturday. To illustrate this, it used to be this value here for this particular statistic was on the 7th of November. It becomes the 11th of November. Let me show you the dates. You look at the calendar. We can see that the 7th is a Tuesday, and when I change it to a Saturday, it becomes the 11th. As you can see, the shape of the weekly statistics in a weekly view is exactly the same. All we do is move the graph to the left or to the right. In other words, making a change in your weekending date does not change the shape of the weekly statistic. It slides them to the new week ending date from, in this case, 7th November till the 11th of November. Now, if you have daily statistics, when you look at them weekly, the totals will be different now, because instead of, for example, going from Wednesday till Tuesday, they'll now be running from Saturday till Sunday, from Friday till Saturday. Sorry. The change is applied to all the values entered in the future, but also to the ones in the past. As you can see, this graph here is in 2017, so it modified the dates also backwards. All the ones entered previously. Finally, this is an option you can revert. It's easy to go back. I'll show you. As you can see, the values are the same, just different dates. So to undo this, we just go back to Administration and Maintain Companies. Double click on the company, click Next. We select the same button, Accept to make changes. And here, all we need to do is click on Tuesday, click on accept the changes, click on next several times until we reach finish. And when we go back to check our dates, they're going to be back the way they were. The second option is going to create a new calendar. What this does basically is freeze the old entries and start with a new calendar on a specific date. You cannot undo this if you don't have a backup of your database, meaning you cannot edit it back. So, when you want to create a new calendar, the first thing to do is to make a backup. There is a video on this in our series in administration, so please take a look at how to do that before you do this, so that you can always revert. Then, what you need to do is select the lower button. You accept some changes, and we're going to make some changes on a specific day where it will start to have effect. So in the software, I'll go back to administration, maintain companies, double click the company I want to edit it, click on next, and here I'm going to say I want to create a new calendar. Adding a new calendar cannot be undone. You get a warning here because without the backup you will not be able to revert to the previous situation. Click on yes. So what I'm going to do here is select a date on which my change takes effect. And then I'm going to say after that date I want the week ending to become Saturday instead of Tuesday. So if I go back to my example here, you can see on the 25th of April 2019, the 25th is a Thursday. So what's going to happen is after the Tuesday until which the data has been entered, in this week here, I'm going to move my next week ending not to Tuesday but to Saturday. So let's do that here. I'll select the 25th and I'll say I want on that day to start with a new week ending on Saturday. If I click finish, I'll get a warning, and then again I'm here. What you'll notice now is you have two calendars. If I go here to the original calendar, my week ending is on Tuesday here. If I go to the new one starting on the 25th, my week ending is on Saturday. Let me click on next until we can save this information to take a look. So the previous values are still entered on the same date. This hasn't changed. However, we're going to see a difference in the weeks after the 25th of April. So if I go to that date, what you can see here is that the week seems to be a regular week, 2nd of April, 9th of April, 16th of April, 23rd, and then here suddenly there is a shorter week because what I have basically done is asked my calendar to be modified. So depending where you place a new week ending day, you'll end up with a transition week like this, which is shorter or longer, depending on when you do the change and what dates you choose. So let's review quickly the changes that have been made. Like I said, this will create a transition week with less or more days to adjust the old week ending to the new one, and we have two calendars now. Now this will not change the shape of any daily or weekly statistics in the past because those have been frozen. The change is only applied to the future. However, you cannot undo this and revert to the previous calendar. You need a backup to be able to do that. So to finish this, as you can see, there is a smaller week here than usual because of the calendar change in week ending.